So it is now March 12th of 2024, and I've only done 2 races so far this year, both which have been at Ipswich Kart Club, and I currently now lead second in points in Tag Restricted Light one in Tag 125 Restricted Light class. And in both times that I've competed, I've actually been at a severe disadvantage of being about 4 to 5 kilo overweight at most. Fortunately, both outcomes have been positive, and both of which have had podiums in fields of about 30 other drivers. So how has this happened? Well, the first round I couldn't quite call a fluke because I had the car dialed in properly, and the three of us are the leaders in the podium positions were kind of running away from everybody during the night time when our race was. But then came round 2, and immediately a week after the first round had hit, the track layout immediately changed. Following upon that week too, I had received contact from Tyler Greenbury to do some driver training with. Who is Tyler Greenbury? Hold on to your helmets. This is a photograph, and in this photograph there's this handsome devil. Quite good looking. Then to the left of him is Tyler Greenbury. Tyler Greenbury is a Australian karting national champion. A few years ago, he started and created his own team in go-karts and is also now progressing into race cars. He's done 86 series the last 2 years, I think, and is now just entering into the Porsche GT3 Super Cup here in Australia. Recently, I got to do some driver training with Tyler, and he has been the best coach that I've had so far. Within 5 years of karting experience myself, I've had about 3 different coaches, and he's been the best one, the greatest one I've had time spent with so far, even just after a day. So this is kind of just a video of what I've picked up from Tyler, and it's also important to sort of just want to point out that it's important to have driver coaching sessions as you progress through not just career as a race driver and on a whole, but also like if you're looking to spend a long-term progression in karting or racing as a career, driver coaching is really, really important for you because you got legends like Tyler and maybe a few other people that are not with Tyler, like from other teams like Project X, DPE, Power Republic legends. But I chose to do some training with Tyler. I've been itching to do training with him for like ages and ages, and I finally got a session in with him, and yeah, best trainer I've had so far. And today I've done a couple screenshots of the data from him driving in my kart as well as myself driving my own kart. Through the practice sessions that we did together in the training day, obviously, and then I want to show you and compare that to how I extracted the learnings and performance that fucking hell, how do I say this? And I just want to show you guys what I learnt from reading the data with Tyler and how I've extracted that and utilized that to my performance in round 2 on race day. So to begin with, a couple things to note about this training that I did with Tyler. Recently we've had a change in the tyre batches within the LH03 hard tyre compound from LeConte. Apparently these changes said certain raw materials had changed in the tyre, and people think that the performance has changed. Some say that it hasn't. Personally, from my experience, I've been on like 3 sets of these tyres so far, and I haven't had a single issue with them yet. If anything, they feel the same as what the last tyre batch was, but they're still not quite as good as what they were at round 1. But they still weren't quite as good as what they were brand new back in 2022. But so yes, on this training day, I was learning the new tyre batch, which I wasn't really sure what to expect, but all I could really do was just drive with what I've got, right? And learn the new track layout, which was going to be a completely different challenge for me. So I'll play a video for you guys now, just showcasing side by side my lap versus Tyler's lap, like our best laps in my go-kart throughout training day. So I'll just showcase that you guys now. 7/10 the difference between my driving and Tyler Greenbury's driving in the same go-kart, and it only took the dude like less than maybe 6 laps to set a lap time quicker than me. But yeah, if we take a look at the data, so my best lap on the day in race pace was a 43.691, and Tyler did a 42.965. And if we look at the data here, so as we come through turn 1, he is about 8 kilometers an hour faster than what I am now. I'm about 8 kilometers an hour, 9 kilometers an hour slower than what he is just coming into the corner. And so what he's doing differently to me there is that he is fully flat to the floor. Like he is pinning the throttle, and he is just pinning the kart in there nice and perfectly. He's got the weight balance, the weight shift and the balance absolutely mastered in the kart while he drives. He's really using his, as a bigger driver, he's really using his body and neck into the corners to perfect the weight shift and the weight balance as he drives, and particularly through tight corner tracks like Ipswich, with a lot of low speed and mid-range speed corners. It's a good technique to sort of really master. But basically what I'm doing compared to him is I'm actually lifting as I'm turning in, and then I get back on the throttle just briefly before we enter the second corner. And I've only really lost about half a tenth doing that, so 500th of a second. But by the time we come through to the apex of 2, I've actually lost about 2.5 tenths. And we're going through there at the exact same speed. And as we come out of the corner through turn 3, I've picked up time on him, only because I'm lighter, and at this point you're flat out through turn 3 as it's a long right-hand sweeper. And then we come to the chicane at the end of graph 3 here. I'm lifting through flip-flop, and right there I'm about 5 kilometers an hour slower than what he is. And once again, he's foot to the floor through flip-flop, dead heat with him. But as we come out, I've lost about 1.5 tenths to him. Then we come into turn 5 in bar graph 5, and this is where I really lose out, like big time. I'm about 1.5 tenths down, and then I suddenly shoot right up to being like nearly half a second down on him as we come through turn 5. And then coming out of the first of the hairpins, yep, 4.5 tenths down on him, just in those 2 little sequence of corners. And what I've actually done there is I've lost, like, obviously because it's a new layout to me, and learning the new tyre, I haven't got that confidence quite enough in the front of the kart to turn, because it's such a sharp, it's a really sharp right-hand corner. And obviously at this point I'm learning a new track layout, and I'm trying to like get the confidence to really just throw the kart in there, carry as much speed in. So I think on this corner on this day I was actually braking a lot harder compared to what he was doing. We come to the point where we get into the braking zone for the second hairpin corner, and he brakes just fractionally later than me, and probably a little less maybe. And then he just gains about a full tenth coming out of the corner, but then obviously through the straightaways, I'm quicker than him as we get to the end of the straights, because lightweight driver picking up more top speed. He's heavier, he's going to go slower, but not by much it seems when you look at the data here. We come to the end of turn 9, coming into the very end of the back straight. 5.5 tenths. And then we come through the right-hander, and it shoots right up to about 8 tenths. So I've lost 2.5 tenths just in the center of the corner. Gain it back a little bit, trying to be on the throttle a little bit more, but not quite enough. And once again, once we come out of the final corner, I'm still 8 tenths down on him. And then we come to the end of the lap, and that's a full 0.726 seconds. So 7 tenths slower than him by the end of our best laps on the day. Tyler was giving me some pretty good feedback on my driving compared to his. And I think once he finished driving my kart in the one session that he had a drive in it for, he hopped out and basically just gave me a compliment on the setup, saying it was pretty much perfect. The only thing that he would have changed would have been not to make the front end so twitchy, so we could have made a minor tweak to the front end of the go-kart on the day, because it wasn't so hot and sticky and greasy of track conditions like what we've had recently in round 1 and round 2, where it's been like mid 30 degree, like basically race days, and like 35-degree heat, and with and because Ipswich is such a popular track to race at, it's obviously going to have a mass amount of rubber build-up, with like 300 karts going and taking around the same race line for about 10 laps per race, pretty much on average. Wasn't a whole heap of track rubber down that day, and plus the day was mostly overcast with a little bit of sunlight. So the track conditions were pretty different, even though it was like a week after the race. But even still, like, if it's not rubbered in and hot and greasy like it is on race days, and the track conditions are going to be severely different to obviously what we've experienced on race day. So different track conditions, different track layout, learning a new new tire batch. There's a lot of factors in here, but obviously it doesn't really matter, because what I was trying to focus on the day was obviously learning how to drive quicker, and I wanted to learn how to drive quicker on Ipswich as a whole, but little did I expect it to be swapped immediately to the Track A format, which is what we ran for round 2. So it immediately swapped a week after round 1, after we had just run the K format, which is what Ipswich Kart Club usually is, and like that's a full 1 kilometre distance, where the A format's I think just under about 900 meters. But even still, I had extracted and utilized the training that I had been taught from Tyler and his advice given to me. But if we compare, say, an average lap time of what I did on race day. So my best lap in the final was a 42.872, and if we remember, Tyler's best lap was a 42.965. I'm basically like pretty much a tenth quicker than Tyler on average. And then if we look at my average, if we look at the lap times that I was really setting through the final, you'll see that I've actually gone and set about 1, 2, 3, 4 different laps within the 42-second lap mark. So a high 42-second lap mark. And all the others are about an average 43.0, 43.1, which isn't too bad, but it's still on average. it's still better race pace compared to what I was doing on the practice day with Tyler, which is good. So guys, I hope this video has helped you out in a way, and I hope it motivates you to find a driver coach that can help teach you and fix your driving up yourself. The benefits are the benefits are pretty big when you have a driver coach, and I'll at least recommend that you have. If you're looking to be very serious about your driving, I would seriously recommend having a driver coaching session at least once or twice a year. This video helps you guys and girls out, and I will see you guys all in the next video. Bye bye.